Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another video. So the other day we got the Bad Batch Season 2 final trailer. I broke it all down in a separate video, as well as the released episode titles, and it's been a really great feeling to be excited for animated Star Wars once again. I loved seeing Cody, Crosshair, Sid, Omega, Gungi, and the fact we're returning to Geonosis and Sereno, but there's one frame from the trailer I've not seen anyone else mention, and that's this one where we see an Imperial officer and some early stormtroopers. Now, as you guys are probably aware, I love doing deep dives into the visual guides, and as I was glancing through the Revenge of the Sith visual guide by James Luceno, I noticed an uncredited Imperial officer who looks a lot like our friend here from the trailer. And so then when I read the description from the book, I'm almost 100% certain it's the same guy. In classic Lucasfilm style, they're reviving elements that were once seen as unimportant. The description for him is as follows: after Palpatine's creation of the Empire, academies for the training of non-clone Imperial officers will appear. Now this is crucial, guys, because Season 2 takes place 6 months following Episode 3, which is still in 19 BBY, and what's being described here is essentially part of the Imperial program following Project Warmantle, which we did see in Season 1. This officer is likely responsible for overseeing the training of recruited stormtroopers as clones get ever more phased out, and what's really fascinating about this is that it contributes to the very dark theme that we see throughout the show, the feelings of the remaining clones who stayed loyal to the Empire, and Crosshair until this point has been the poster boy for that sentiment. In the trailer we hear Cody tell Crosshair that many clones have been questioning the Order. They're conflicted and uncertain about it, not just because Order 66 is behind them and now they're doing more harm in the name of the Empire, but because there is an active hostility from Imperial officers and the new recruits towards the clones, and we do see this to some extent in Season 1. They're treated as lessers and are viewed as beings without autonomy, old remnants of the Clone Wars and tools of the Fallen Republic. This is why it's so mind-boggling that Crosshair remains loyal. He's had his chip removed, so it's his choice to stay. He's only causing himself more grief, because the Empire doesn't care what happens to him. He's a cog in their machine, and a disliked one at that, because he's seen as a defective clone. Crosshair still has a lot of anger for his brothers, and I guess sister, and it doesn't look hopeful that things are gonna change anytime soon, as he responds to Cody by saying anyone who questions the Order is a traitor. In fact, I think Cody's gonna be the one who defects. He's probably gonna have his chip removed by Rex, and I reckon the mission that Rex calls the Bad Batch to help him on at the end of the trailer might just be this. Not to mention, I think we're also gonna see Rex save Wolf. But here's the problem, guys. The dilemma from the point of view of someone like Cody is how is he supposed to leave? There needs to be some sort of moment or event to facilitate this, because any act of defiance could lead to death. This is where I believe not only Rex, but Captain Hauser could come into it. His speech in Season 1 was crucial, and I think when Echo says in the trailer that there are more of them out there who need their help, they could be hinting at a clone uprising, a revolt by the remaining clones who've been turned into stormtroopers, and are serving a regime that views them as disposable objects. For me, this is one of the most fascinating parts of the upcoming second season. Share your thoughts in the comments down below. And so now, my dear Mandalorians, we've had so many amazing updates for The Mandalorian recently, and it is rumoured by MakingStarWars.net that we're getting the final trailer pretty soon, as well as a poster. But over the last couple of days, we've also had teasers for what to expect by certain cast members. We've talked about Pedro Pascal, Jon Favreau, and on Friday I covered Giancarlo Esposito's comments concerning the scope of Season 3. But now in a new interview with ET Online, Giancarlo has revealed some more goodies, notably the Moff Gideon subplot in the first half of the next season. He talks about where Moff Gideon starts and where he's gonna end up, and he teases that Moff Gideon has a big plan. Let's dive into the quote. Yes, it's assumed he's behind bars. I think we could have an opportunity to see him escape those chains that bind him. We want to see a guy who is a mastermind, who has an idea for the future that no one else has, and so we want to know what that is, and we want to know if it's good or bad, and presumably it's going to be very bad news for our heroes, but good news for the Imperial Remnant. Now, just a bit of context before I talk about the next bit. Do you guys remember during the Andor series, I talked about good and bad, and how evil people, villains, both in the real world and in fiction, see themselves as the good guy? They think what they're doing, their strategy, their tactics, are all in the name of the greater good, and Giancarlo confirms this is how Gideon thinks going into season 3. Here is the quote: "I keep holding on to this idea that he really wants to save this galaxy. Of course, everyone does, but everyone assumes he just wants to control it, so let's find out if that's true or not." And I reckon these comments go back to what he said a few months ago about warlords out there in the galaxy in the unknown regions who are worse than him, many of which we haven't met. Some of these were the most degenerate, depraved, and desperate Imperial loyalists you'll ever come across. But when it comes to Giancarlo's comments, it's really cool we don't know what his motivation is. A lot of it is such a mystery, but I guess we're gonna find out on March the 1st. And so finally, my dear friends, a controversial yet insightful piece on the Andor series, an opinion piece. Let's dive into this. According to Christian Blevelt over at IndieWire, Andor is the best Star Wars since The Last Jedi. Now, if you read this and you're confused and you've got an eyebrow raised, don't worry, everything is explained. The flames of rebellion can be a slow burn before the flashpoint. That's a fair description for the reception of Andor. Early reporting suggested that viewers weren't nearly as interested as they had been in The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. 3 weeks after its season 1 finale, Andor feels vital in a way that eluded its predecessors. IndieWire then say that while The Last Jedi divided the fandom, it's still a movie that tried to do something different, but the Andor series fulfills the promise that The Last Jedi gave us, that the Star Wars franchise needs to move on beyond its original characters and reframe how we see Star Wars. So that's the connection. Andor did something that The Last Jedi tried to do but missed out on. IndieWire then go on to say that while viewership for Andor has been relatively low, it's gonna see long-term success, it's going to age very well indeed, and everything that Andor achieved should offer lessons for the franchise's future, not relying on cameos, a purely plot-focused series that also offers amazing character development. And so finally they say Obi-Wan talks about a certain point of view. The certain point of view of Andor doesn't have to be the only one for the franchise, but it's a necessary one that should stand alongside others. It shows the future of Star Wars is not going to be one thing, but many things. That's how a franchise grows. That's how a galaxy feels bigger. An amazing article, I definitely agree with them. Andor doesn't have to be the only thing Star Wars turns into, but it's a good start and a good demonstration for what Star Wars can be in the future. And to finish on some amazing Andor news, congratulations to Diego Luna, who's been nominated at the Golden Globes for Best Performance by an Actor in a Television Series. He certainly deserves it. He was the best actor in Rogue One, and it's so great to see him getting recognition in his own series. Amazing stuff. Season 2 comes out in 2024. Share your thoughts in the comments down below, guys, of this and everything we spoke about in today's video. If you enjoyed this one, as always, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and if you want more videos not found here on YouTube, then click the link down there in the description. But until the next one, guys, may the Force be with you always.